This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, I figured let me resurface real quick so that I can bring everything back down to its truest and its most properest levels. Let's be honest. First and foremost, of course, everyone is over glamorized by the fact that Terence Crawford won. You know, I call him Terence Crawford because he's a fraud, because in the essence of the fact that he's fraudulent in his boxing career. And I'm going to explain why I say that he's fraudulent. First and foremost, he's working with Victor Conte. Victor Conte came out, as you can see in the background, and made a post and said, Terence Crawford will be ready September 13th. How do you know he'll be ready? Isn't it a things that make you say, Isn't it a things that make you say, But you know, we have to be visceral with the cold-hearted. We have to be unadulterated, and we have to give cutthroat truth-telling fashions. And what is the cold-hearted? What is the unadulterated? And what is the cutthroat truth-telling fashion? As simple as this. Why is Victor Conte? Now let's delve into his past. A Balco guy. Let's delve into his past. A guy who's been connected with biogenesis, i.e. LeBron James. This is why I call Terence Crawford the LeBron James of boxing. Let me say it again, because I need to let that marinate. And I need you guys to hear me. And I need you guys to hear me well. Terence Crawford is the LeBron James of boxing. And ironically, Victor Conte, biogenesis, is connected with LeBron James and Terence Crawford. So when people look at the whole ambiance and everything that's associated behind this, you have to ask yourself a definitive question. And what's that definitive question? Why does Terence Crawford get to be put in a position where Terence Crawford works with a known dope dealer, a known PED guy who gets to use in the form of stack, i.e. undetectable PEDs, to be able to put this in guys' system? Didn't he look lackluster in his last fight against Madrimov? How did he get the power all of a sudden? And see, this is the problem with most boxing fans. This is why I don't even waste my time with boxing anymore. Well, I don't even waste my time with most things, because what I realize is most human beings, they live in a matrix bubble. They are basically taking the blue pill. Instead of them inhaling the red pill, instead of them ingesting the pill that will allow them to effectively, critically, and do what's called deductive reasoning, they put themselves in a bubble of neuro-linguistic programming, which is simple English for brainwashing. You know, when you're a brain full of mush and a brainwashed dodo head, what you find yourself doing is you find yourself uttering what other classic dolts and troglodytes utter. You find yourself uttering what other Rudy Poo and Plum Plum brains utter. So you're going to utter the same nonsense. It is what it is. But we have to sit here and look at the tail of the tape. Terence Crawford was able to adjust into a weight class he never fought at. How's he able to do this all of a sudden? He never fought at 168. No one asks these definitive questions. No one asks how he was able to hydrate properly. This is not a bodybuilding show. This is not a CrossFit event. This is not a weightlifting contest. This is boxing. They have weight classes for a reason. Canelo Alvarez has been properly hydrated at 168 for 7+ years. Terence Crawford shows up in one fight at 168. And all of a sudden, all of these la cucarachas, yo no puedo caminar. La cucarachas, yo no puedo caminar. All of these scattering cockroaches, i.e. YouTubers, i.e. commenters, i.e. people that allow themselves to continue to live in this blue pill matrix, want to sit here and believe what's in front of them. You should be looking at this, wondering what's going on. Didn't Victor Conte a month ago come out and have to basically try to defend himself. See, you guys think I haven't been paying attention to the news of boxing, even though I know what's going on behind the scenes. Didn't he have to come out and talk about Terence Crawford and his error form with Vada? Oh yeah, my bad. Victor Conte also is on the board of Vada. Let me say it again. Victor Conte is also on the board of Vada. So that means he gets to dictate, he gets to omit, he gets to add in, and he gets to take away what gets to be said and what doesn't get to be said when it relates to his fighters. Let me say it again, because what I said was so deep and profound. You know, it has to marinate in that corpus callosum. It has to marinate in that cerebellum. So hear me and hear me motherfucking well. Victor Conte is an executive that helped co-founded basically Vada. This is why Vada is fraudulent. This is why Vada cannot be trusted. So he gets to omit. He gets to add. He gets to take away.
Go ahead.
And he gets to put in writing and make it law what his fighters can be subjected to and what they cannot be subjected to. Meaning they have to omit anything that's related to undetectable PEDs. Because let's look at Terence Crawford. The power is there all of a sudden. He's able to stagger Canelo Alvarez. Look at all of the opponents Canelo has fought. Have any of them been able to stagger him? Has Floyd been able to stagger him? Has Bivol been able to stagger him? But Terence Crawford, Bivol is a light heavyweight. We can understand Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is a smaller guy. But Bivol is a light heavyweight. And he wasn't able to stagger Canelo. But Terence Crawford was able to stagger him in this fight. See, these are the questions that people don't ask. Because people are what's called brain full of mush and brainwashed dodo heads. And in their dodo head ideology, in their dodo head way of thinking, they're going to believe whatever that's placed in front of them. Because they can't effectively, reasonably, and use what's called deductive reasoning to think for themselves. So, did Terence Crawford really win? Or did he get another guy that they put in front of him that had an Achilles heel? Really want you guys to think about that. Terence Crawford with enhancements, i.e. PEDs. Terence Crawford with another guy that's in front of him with an Achilles heel. And then there's the dark element of boxing. We don't know what's disclosed behind closed doors to really propagate Terence Crawford. But I'm going to give you guys an even bigger picture here. I believe Terence Crawford sold his soul. This is what I believe. Because one, he's never made this kind of money before. Two, he's never been on a grand stage like this before. And three, he's never been known and had any level of notoriety on this level, on this epic proportion, on this epic magnitude. So for him to get all of this, there's only one sound conclusion in Hollyweird. And that means he sold his soul. This is what I believe. And Victor Conte was the guy to be able to help him to sell his soul. You see, one thing about when people do bad stuff, whatever you do in the dark, it's going to come to the light. You see now people are talking about recent allegations that LeBron James was taking steroids. You see all of the information is coming out now. So many years later, right when he's getting ready to retire, people are bringing this stuff up. Well, it's going to be like that for Terence Crawford too. See, right now, he's the guy they want to get behind. And because he sold his soul, they've positioned him. They've elevated him. And one of the elements of selling your soul is they promote you. They elevate you. They graduate you. But then, here's the thing about the elevation, the graduation, and the promotion. There comes a time where they demote you. There comes a time of demotion. LeBron James is facing that now towards the end of his career. You don't see how the NBA is trying to blackball him. They're trying to root him out of the NBA. Well, Terence Crawford right now, he's the position guy for them to prop up. So they're going to do everything in his selling of souls to push him up. But we know what goes up must come down. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the what? On the Knicks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the Knicks. This is He Knows Everything. Checking out.